Hi, I'm Coach Amber. Welcome to the Meet RX Success Story podcast. Today we have special guest with us, Tammi. She'll be talking to us about her success with the meat-based diet. Welcome, Tammi.
Thank you, Amber. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So Tammi, tell us, what was going on in your life prior to starting a meat-based diet? Were you having any health issues? Were you struggling with weight? What was going on?
So I have always been a little bit on the heavier side ever since I was a kid. And so, yeah, I've always struggled with weight. Fortunately, I did not get a lot of the associated health issues. So my main thrust with this whole way of eating and change of lifestyle has just been, mainly to lose weight and to keep myself from getting those, because I know eventually that's where I was headed. So, and like I said, I've always had weight issues. And so I have spent a lifetime dieting, doing every different kind of diet that you can think of. I've lost and gained weight so many times throughout my life. And I just have I've never found that one thing that worked for me that I was able to stick to and make sustainable. And so around January of 2020, like at the first of the year, I always make, the resolution, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to get healthy, this is going to be the year. And I always stick to it for a month. And then, I fall off and gain all the weight back. And I had done that exact same thing in January of 2020. My husband and I decided we were gonna, get healthy. I remember on New Year's Eve, we went and we hiked 8 miles around a lake. And in Montana, hiking 8 miles in the winter, through snow is a big thing, So I was feeling really good and really motivated. And like I said, we lasted, maybe a couple weeks, and then we were right back to our same eating habits, same way of life. And so I just remember one night I was struggling. I was kind of depressed, like thinking, how am I ever gonna fix this? And so I don't even remember what I typed in on YouTube or the internet. I can't remember if I was searching on YouTube or what it was, but somehow a Laura Spath video came up, and it was her introduction and her 120-pound weight loss on carnivore. And I clicked on that and I watched it, and then I watched, and then she led me to Kelly Hogan and to just all of the great carnivore influencers that have helped me so much. And so I just binged everything that I could on, the carnivore, all the YouTube channels, just watching everything that I could. And the very next day I went grocery shopping and I bought, the things that I needed to get started, and I was going to give it 30 days. That was my goal. I'm going to try this for 30 days, see how it goes. And at the end of that 30 days, I thought, why would I stop this? It didn't make any sense to stop. I felt so good. I did not get on the scale at all. Actually, I got on at the very, very beginning, but I didn't look at my weight. I had my husband look, because I didn't want to know. I'm that kind of person where I don't even want to know what I've done to myself, So I had my husband look, he wrote it down. And then it was probably 6 months of pretty strict carnivore before I ever got on the scale and even saw what I was doing, because I just didn't want to be discouraged. I was feeling so good, and I knew that this was a marathon. It wasn't a sprint. And so I didn't want to discourage myself. So anyway, that's about basically how it started and kind of how I dealt with it the first couple of months, just kind of going along with the flow and not stressing about weight, just feeling really good.
That is awesome. That is perfect. I can totally relate to your story, but the way you went about it is perfect. And it obviously worked for you. So tell us, how did you implement the diet when you started? Like, what were you eating? What's a typical day like? Did you include dairy? Do you drink coffee? Do you use spices? And did you have any transitional issues?
I can remember at the very beginning, I felt a little bit maybe weak for the first couple of days, but I never got, the keto flu or anything like that people talk about. I never got the intestinal issues that people are so scared about. So no, I would say very, very mild transitional issues, if any, if you can, call what I had a transitional issue. I mainly do beef steaks. I love ribeyes and I love New York strips, so I will have at least one of those a day. And I do eggs. I do eggs for breakfast. Probably around 11 a.m. is when I usually get hungry. And in the last year, basically around the time that I started this way of eating, I went from working full-time to kind of running my own business at home. So I have the luxury of being at home right now, and so I can eat when I get hungry, So about 11 a.m. is when I get hungry, and I'll make eggs. Usually I have about 5 eggs for breakfast with some ham in it, and I used to do cheese. I've pretty much done dairy all throughout my journey, except for this January. I decided to go no dairy January because I was hanging on to, I had a goal in mind, a weight loss goal that I had wanted to reach. And I was hanging on to about 7 pounds. And I thought, maybe if I give up the dairy, I can get rid of that last 7 pounds. And sure enough, I gave it up. And within probably 2 weeks, I had that last 7 pounds gone. And I've just found that I don't really need the dairy. Every now and then if I want to have a piece of cheese or something like that, but I was doing heavy cream in my coffee. I was doing cheese in my eggs every morning, things like that. And I've kind of found that I just don't need it, because at the end of January, I went back to the heavy cream and I thought, oh, that kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Like, I don't want it anymore. So yes, obviously I do drink coffee. And I do limited spices. I will do, of course, pink Himalayan salt, and I do pepper a little bit in my eggs. But that's about it. So.
Boy, I understand about the heavy whipping cream. I'm still battling that one. Okay, so now that we've kind of heard your story, let's hear about the weight loss now. And what other things have you noticed improved? And was there anything that kind of surprised you?
Well, as far as being surprised, I'm just still shocked at how much that I love this way of eating and just how easy it is. If you had told me before you're going to eat nothing but meat and eggs, basically for the rest of your life, because I'm in it for good now, I would have told you were crazy. Like, how do you need more variety than that, right? But you just get to a point where you don't. And I absolutely love the simplicity of, knowing every day what I'm going to eat. My family, I have the teenage son at home, and of course my husband, and they primarily eat, standard American diet. And so I still do have to shop and cook those things for them. But I just go to the store. Like yesterday, I went and I bought a whole New York strip steak, and I bought 2 whole pork bellies, and I will process them up probably when we're done with this meeting. And I know I have my food for a month, and eggs, and it's so simple. It's amazing. So, and then what was the other part of that question?
Well, let's hear about your improvements. Like, what changed? What improved in your weight loss, since that was the big thing for you?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. So I'm sitting right now at like 58 pounds gone. And that was over a year. So I have done things like that before, but I never felt like it was ever sustainable. So I know this time that I am done with it and I can keep it gone, which is amazing. Improvements, just I'm a very outdoorsy person. My family hunts, we fish, we camp, we hike, we backpack, we bike. It's just, we do all those things. And it was getting to the point where I would hesitate to do those things. You know, someone would ask me, do you want to go for a hike or do you want to go bike riding or something? And I would want to, but again, I wouldn't want to because I knew it was going to be such a struggle and I was going to be so worn out. And so getting to a place where I can do those things gladly again, and just, you know, go out and enjoy the things. You know, I live in Montana, so it's beautiful here and we have unlimited outdoor recreation. And so being able to go out and participate in those things again and do it well, you know, is huge for me.
It is a huge thing. Quality of life is everything. So kudos to you. And Tammy, thank you so much for sharing your story. It means a lot to other people to hear the success, especially those who have given up.
Yes.
And I know you were about to that point. I definitely was at that point. So thank you so much for coming on and sharing that story.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
You bet. Bye, Tammy.
Bye.